Thank you so much for joining us on the program. It is Talking Politics on your digital first Pan-African News Network TS Television, reaching you live here in Abuja, the nation's capital city, and it is the weekend edition. I'm Musaze Isesele. Before we get started on the program tonight, our focus, of course, is on the call for the creation of state police amidst the rising insecurity challenges in Nigeria. But before then, let's take you through some of the biggest political stories in the land this weekend. President Muhammadu Buhari on Saturday mourned the demise of Afenifere spokesman Yinka Odumakin, describing him as a man of conviction. In the statement, President Buhari condoled with the family, friends, and acquaintances of the Pan-Yoruba movement spokesman on Odumakin, who served as a spokesperson when he contested the 2011 presidential election on the platform of Congress for Progressive Change. Not so in nice news, the Plateau State lawmaker dies in an auto crash. A member representing Jos North Basafeda constituency at the House of Representatives, Haruna Maitala, is dead. A family member confirmed his death on Saturday morning. Maitala died in a road accident along Bade Gitata Road Friday night on his way to Jos. He died alongside his son, driver and security aide, who were all in the vehicle. Our deepest condolences to his family and acquaintances, and we pray that the souls of the departed will rest in peace. Now, to the main topic of discussion today. The introduction of state police into Nigerian policing system has been widely demanded for in the last few years, with some claiming it to be the only solution to curbing the security challenges bedeviling the country. The call has gradually gained popularity due to the surge in the rate of highly sophisticated crimes in the country. This was also worsened by the inability of the nation's federal police structure, the Nigerian police force, to contain the growing insecurity challenges. From armed robbery to kidnapping, banditry, and even terrorism, Nigeria is gradually becoming overwhelmed by its many security challenges and even had a score of 8.1 on the Global Terrorism Index of 2020. Protagonists of the State Policing Initiative believe that the establishment of the state police domiciled in a particular society places it in a more proactive position for the detecting and neutralization of any emerging crime before it escalates. However, some are of the opinion which insists that creation of the state police will lead to a situation where two rivaling institutions will be charged with similar responsibility, duty, and nature in the country. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari, in an interview with one of the nation's media outlets, has also voiced his concerns about this creation of state police. The president, in the interview, doubted the sustainability of the process once established. Let's take a listen to President Buhari.
I congratulated the governor of Lagos State when he started the neighborhood for policing or whatever. It's a good initiative. But Lagos State is richer than the federal government. How many states now they can't pay salaries? You ask them to go and take the police, and you know what will happen if the police cannot be paid? You give him uniform and a gun, and you fail to pay him for 6 months? So, I'm very pleased you realize it's wahala. And I don't want to be a part of it.
Now, that's the president. Although the structure of Nigerian police does not provide for the concept of state police as enshrined in the constitution, Nigerians are prepared to tolerate this practice. So far, it will assist the police in discharging its constitutional and statutory roles effectively. Also, former Senate President, Senator Ike Ekweremadu also bore his mind on the creation of state police. Let's take a listen to Senator Ekweremadu.
Environment, such issues as sports, So we believe that some of those things should go to the concurrent where both the state and the federal will have defined responsibilities. And we did this in consultation with our people, we have public hearing, we have to post opinion on some of these things. And as I said, it's going to be an incremental thing. So it's not going to be exhaustive. So as time goes on, we'll be able to get some people, or our people, to believe in what we are doing. So that's when we'll be able to deal with the issue of state police. So we cannot decentralize police at this time because some people are still opposed to it. But I think it's beginning to make sense that we cannot be able to deal with our security situation in Nigeria unless we change the security architecture. Because the truth is that there's no place in this world where they have that of police we have here that runs our type of system. No federal system anywhere in the world has a unitary type of police which we have now. So, and that's why we continue to get it wrong in trying to solve our security problem. it's not going to work until we change the architecture of our security system. Namely, a federal state, a state that's as big as Nigeria, must have to adopt the international policy. So that means that in Sokoto, they have to create the type of police they want. It's kind of, they're going to create the type of police they want. Because the type of police that work in Kano, not necessarily work in Enugu. That's the idea of federalism. So, and that's what I'm not going to come to terms with. But we need to take Nigerians to the level where they will understand this. And people complain about abuse, possible abuse by governors and all that. But I'm trying to it is that that's why we have to put our thinking cap. What did other countries do? Places like Brazil, what they did was to create a commission that regulates the way this policy at sub-regional levels are conducted. Just like what we did with the judiciary here. We have the NJC that controls both the state and federal judiciary. So if you have that level of control, like a commission that will deal with policy in Nigeria, so they'll be able to create standards and also discipline people that abuse it. So there's so many other things that can put into in place to make sure that we check abuses. With that, I can be sure that we can police the.
Now, that's Senator Ike Ikweremadu. Furthermore, some Nigerian governors have also shown open support to the creation of state police. Notable among them are Governor Aminu Tambuwa of Sokoto State, Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State, Governor of Ekiti State, and Chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, Kayode Fayemi, who have also preferred the creation of state police as the only solution to bringing a lasting end to the spate of security challenges bedeviling the states. Now, the argument has been that it is necessary to relinquish the control of the police to state governors as they were closer to the people and could effectively deploy them to carry out their duties. Bear in mind that despite the many complications surrounding the creation of state police, some regions in the country have made attempts to launch regional security outfits, prominent of which is the Western Security Network, nicknamed Operation Amotekun, although there exists a Northern Security Network and an Eastern Security Network. State governors in the region have distanced themselves from the outfits. The question, however, remains, would the state police, when created, be apolitical? Will it not be used as a tool by unscrupulous state governors? Will it not be used as an army of occupation in the event of a political disagreement between the federal and state government? All of these answers will be provided on the show today. Now, joining us to talk more about this on the conversation is the Board of Trustees Chairman of the Lagos State Civil Society Partnership for Development, LASCOP, Mr. Ayo Adebusoye, and Dr. Bala Mohammed, who teaches mass communication at Bayero University, Kano. He's also a writer and public affairs analyst. They both join us virtually. Mr. Ayo, welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. Pleasure to be here.
Now, Mr. Ayo, let's get straight into the conversation. A lot of people have advocated for the emergence of state police, both state actors, development partners, and even citizens. Do you feel that the creation of state police will bring a permanent end to the nation's numerous insecurity challenges?
Well, I don't know a permanent end, but at least a better end than what we're facing now. I mean, everyone in there, who can be a bit objective, can see that our present security infrastructure is failed, actually. But by any indication, you can see, so many embassies that are making Nigeria like a no-go area for the citizens. So many states in Nigeria. So when we talk about a failed state doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process over decades. At a point, we'll just discover that some parts of the country are being controlled by warlords, like it's happening in Somalia. And we're seeing that gradually happening in Nigeria. So this is failing. And there's a principle called subsidiarity, where whatever can be done at the local level should not be taken care of by a central authority. If I, in my house, have problem with armed robbers coming in to break into my home, it would be ridiculous for me to expect the Inspector General of Police in Abuja to come and save the situation. I have to start from myself. For a federation like Nigeria, we must have not only state police, even local government and community police. In fact, my father is a retired surgeon, 92 years old, was saying we even had railway police. We had native authority police. So it's nothing new. It's not rocket science. We must realize that this situation cannot continue. We 2 days ago in Niger State, they attacked a military camp and killed soldiers and all. So it's not a matter of bringing army. There must be intelligence gathering apparatus at the community level. These people are not good. It's headsmen, gunmen, whatever you want to call them. They're not good. They're living in a community. They're living in a local government. They're living in a ward. They're somewhere.
All right, Mr. Ayo, before we continue, we're also joined by Dr. Bala Mohammed, a lecturer of mass communication. He's also a writer and public affairs analyst. Dr. Mohammed, you're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much for welcoming me, and thank you very much, viewers, for having me.
All right, Dr. Mohammed, let's take your own reaction. What's your own reaction towards the emergence of state police? Because state actors and, of course, development partners and everyone is clamoring for the emergence of a state police as a way to curb insecurity in the nation. What do you think about that, sir?
Well, in all practical purposes, most of the states have one form or the other of a security outfit. For instance, in Kano, where I come from, and in many states where the Muslim majority states in the far north, we have the Hizbah. Hizbah is not an armed police outfit, but it is complementing the activities of the police in keeping law and order and making peace among people. Now, the police all over the country are so few. I regret to say that I did not hear much of what your earlier guests have said, but Nigeria is under-policed, and that is the basic requirement. We are under-policed, and if you compare our police with even African countries, you will find that the ratio of citizens to police is very low in Nigeria. Now, if you take Nigeria, if say Nigeria were a crime-free country without arms in the hands of bad eggs, without criminal minds, then we would say we can manage with the police we have. Unfortunately, the criminal elements are now outnumbering the police by several folds to one. Therefore, we are under-policed. This is the reason why in many states they had to complement the appearance of the police with other quasi-police personnel. So in Kano, for instance, we have the Hizbah. The Hizbah is, it is based in the Quran, it is based in the Hadith of our religion, that there should be some people who will oversee the activities of the people in the markets and in the roads and everywhere in the streets, so that people behave in civil manner. So this Hizbah is not armed, but they do a lot of arbitration and dispute resolution, which does not need to go to the police stations, which does not need to go to the courts. And this Hizbah is a first port of call for most of our people in Kano. So the same thing happens in Jigawa, the same thing in Sokoto, in Borno State, in many states of the Far North. So this mechanism, this ADR, Alternative Dispute Resolution Mechanism, called the Hizbah, is more than several years old. Now, the agitation mostly is from states where that opportunity did not present itself. But now, most people have agreed that there is need for another layer of policing in this country. In a country where you have to send the army to man the streets and the roads and the highways, that is not a good thing. That is not something that should be so, because it is the police that should man our internal security. If they cannot do that, then there should be another way of doing that. The police are not happy with what is happening, say, in Amotekun, in Eastern States security outfit, in even the Hizbah. When the Hizbah started in Kano, the police were vehemently against during Obasanjo's time. So when the Kano state government established the Hizbah, that is the state Islamic police outfit, because it's not armed, they came and arrested the two commandants and put them in jail. Kano state government went to the Supreme Court and won the case that the Constitution allows the state to do something for the benefit of its citizens in the security angle. And so the federal government was defeated at court, and costs were awarded against the federal government, which they have not redeemed yet, but the Hizbah came to stay. Most of Kano conflicts, which are not criminal, are settled at the Hizbah, and I was part and parcel of it from the beginning. And they have a very efficient way of conflict resolution, especially in family matters, in drug abuse, in neighborhood crisis, in the road rage, etc., etc. Anything that is beyond that, it goes to the police. So Nigeria, as I said earlier, is under police with the army in the streets. It is not good. A motorcon is a regional outfit, as my colleague has said. Yes, we need another layer of police in this country because the police are overwhelmed. Or else we need to reform the police so well that we have enough of them and enough of the policy to make sure they go around.
Okay, Dr. Mohammed, sorry to butt in there, but let me take Mr. Ayo. Now, Mr. Ayo, you've listened quite to Dr. Mohammed. He has mentioned that there are some bottlenecks in the Nigerian police system. Chief of them all is that the Nigerian police force is understaffed and Nigeria is under-policed. What are other bottlenecks you think are in the Nigerian police system that has made it impossible for us to nip insecurity in the board?
Well, you see, for instance, we have supposed to have about 67 squadrons of mobile police all over the country. Where are they today? And we saw it glaringly during the NSAS protests, which became riots and uncontrolled, hijacked by hoodlums, etc. That apart from the regular police at the police station, these SARS outfits that were banned, then we don't have anyone. They have to call in the army because the mobile police, who actually meant to actually quell riots, have been completely degraded, have been completely disseminated. That's the fact that we have almost every big man and every wife of a big man who has some mobile police escorts, guarding them or holding their handbag. Even anybody who just has a little money will just get a dozen policemen attached to them. So what does that leave the common man? Just like the Muhammad said, already we are under police, and even out of that, we are now finding the remaining ones away to the highest bidder. This cannot work, and it's not working. We saw a situation where we don't have even those anti-riot police like we had in those days who can deal with any protest or anything to deploy them fast to places where there are conflict. It can only be solved when we energize our community and state police. Hizbah is a step in that direction, and it shows what can happen by that principle of subsidiarity, where the people in the local level deal with their issues first. Now, if all those issues have to be dealt with at the state, landlord-tenant issues, family issues, which can become very critical issues. These are some of the issues that even lead sometimes to lots of injury and even loss of life. But once it can be dealt with at that level, you have even settled some. But now we're even talking about higher level criminality, banditry, terrorism, kidnapping, all kinds of things that are going on within the state, and which they cannot deal with them. The Zamfara governor mentioned that there are thousands of these bandits in the Zamfara state, and these are not even in the state, cutting across various states. But so what are they doing about it? They don't have the apparatus. The state police must be armed because these guys are armed, but they must be under the check of the civil authority, and that's where people were always getting nervous. If they arm the state police, maybe they would just do their own thing. No, they must be under the check, and that's why the rule of law, it comes down again to our promoting and respecting the rule of law in this country. We must all obey the rule of law, and we must all be under civil authority. All the police, even the police as it is now, Nigerian police now, they still have those challenges, which we are still trying to address. How to ensure that they are, held accountable, and that's what led to these NSAS riots and protests, and why we still have even police brutality still going on. the state police is non-negotiable if you want to solve problem where, because it's increasing. The more you leave the issues, the more it grows, and that's what's actually happening now. It's growing. It's as if there's no solution. The judgment in cases are not being enforced. How many people are being arrested? How many of those arrested are being convicted? There's impunity going on left, right, and center. So we must understand whatever bottleneck we may think is there, there's always a way out. We are not the only federation. We are the only federation now in the world, reportedly, that doesn't have a state police. Why? Why is that no different? The issues are the same. And we must remember, originally, that was not defining. We even had native authority police. So why now we don't have? Let's go back to the basics and understand we are supposed to be a federation, and a federation means we are made up of federating units, and each unit must take care of its security. It's not negotiable. Otherwise, we're going to have what we have now. And if we're not careful, it's the warlords that will begin to hold different places as it has started happening.
Okay.
So let's
thank you so much, Mr. Ayo Adebusoye. Now, Dr. Bala Mohammed, let's take your last words as regards this conversation on state police and so we can be able to curb insecurity going forward. What do you think the federal government can do?
Okay, thank you very much again. Now let me just give you the argument of the Nigerian police. For instance, they say, and this is established fact, the international policing says there should be one police officer for 333 number of citizens, 333.
Okay.
The average policing in Nigeria is 1 to 556, almost double. And in Europe, where there is not much need for policing because the crime rate is very low, it is a much higher ratio, which means that even South Africa has a better ratio than us. So that is number one. The very, very much very little number of policing per head in Nigeria, especially now with more criminals than you can ever imagine. The second thing is training. Most of the police people are not trained because they're busy, as my colleague has said, they are busy policing and guarding and holding the bag of VIPs. So this training is not adequate, because that's why you have what you call accidental discharge. It is lack of training of even handling weapons. That's the second argument of the national police. The equipment, like he just mentioned about intelligence. One animal was missing in a desert, in a jungle. It was CCTV cameras that found that that animal was not extinct. It was one species of it is still alive. CCTV cameras all over the forest. Now all these jungles have been taken over by criminals because the police doesn't look serious enough to put CCTV cameras, to put drones, so there is no equipment. And the other thing is that welfare. We remember the media spotlight on Ikeja police barracks and how dilapidated and terrible it looked. That is another one. And then when police retire, where is their pension? Where is their gratuity? So all these, if you have the same kind of problem, then funding. Now Nigeria, of course, many things are funded and the money never reaches where it is. So that is the argument. Now, if we have a state police, which is desirable, but many political opposition in those states may cry foul, because this is a country where even the federal police, a large chunk of them are doing VIP work. What do you expect the state police to do when they are established by a certain governor, paid by that governor from the security vote or whatever vote? So the opposition are crying and they will say, hey, it is very likely that we'll be beaten up, arrested, and the election rigged. That is a genuine concern of the opposition in many states. But that does not preclude us from having this debate. That there must be a way where this police, state police or whatever it is, because the Hizbah in Kano, they are not controlled 100% by the government in office, even though they pay for them, because it survives every government. And so at least they have this protection from politics and politicians. So we have to look at that angle of using the police, at the federal police have been used, of course, we understand that, the state police has to be protected, but it has to be done. The constitution must be amended as much as possible in this restructuring business and whatever. State police is necessary now because of the much criminal activity and because we are under policed. And we hope that the governors as well as the senators and the House of Reps people will come to an agreement on how it could be done. It is better done now when we need a lot of security in this country than leave it until we are all dead. We hope that there will be some intervention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bala Mohammed, and thank you very much, Mr. Ayo Adebusoye. It's been a very expository and insightful conversation with the two of you gentlemen. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
All right, you have a great weekend and happy Easter to you.
Same to you. Bless.
Thank you so much for being a part of the program. That's where we'll leave it on this weekend edition of Talking Politics. Do well to visit our website www.tstvnetwork.com and see more editions of Talking Politics. Follow us on our social media platforms as well on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TSTV Network. I'm Musa Zeh Sesele. Thanks for watching and happy Easter. God bless you.